you like Ventura TV Appliance on Facebook, it's nice. But when you love the KitchenAid appliances we deliver, it's even better. Our website is cool, and it's a good place to start. But you really should touch the merchandise before you buy. Save big with KitchenAid. Right now, get up to a $1,000 prepaid MasterCard when you purchase select KitchenAid appliances. Get the best selection, price, and service in town without waiting. Come in to Ventura TV Appliance and touch the merchandise today.
Justice is coming. For the first time, a broadcast network fully dedicated to crime and investigation programming, plus a groundbreaking commitment to support national and local law enforcement. Each hour, the Justice Network will ask for your help in finding dangerous criminals, locating missing children, and help you avoid becoming a victim. Join me, John Walsh, on the all-new Justice Network.
Hi, I'm John Malos. Welcome to this live edition of Connect with me on the showroom floor at Ventura TV on this day. Glad to have you along on a Thursday morning. Hey, today we'll be talking to Chief Jerry Dyer about the Keith Foster situation. He'll be here live in the studio, of course, 436-ME-TV, option 11. Do call in and weigh in. Back in a moment. Welcome back to the program here on the showroom floor at Ventura TV on this Thursday morning. I'm glad to have you along here on Comcast Channel 187 and 43.6. Been looking forward to this day for a while. Chief Dyer is in the house. We'll talk to him in a moment. And later on, we'll be talking about the Fresno Grizzlies. We'll see how long the chief will be able to stay here. His time is limited, of course, and you're welcome to call in. But first, I want to remind you that you're watching us live on Comcast Channel 187, 43.6, and 13.1. You're watching us live on those stations right now, 10 to 11 o'clock, Monday through Friday. And then, of course, later on, the replay comes up at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 13.6 on YouTube, 8 o'clock tonight, 4.6 Biz TV. And hey, how about the Twitter account? There it is right there at John Malos, Me TV. Well, you know, it's been a long last 2 or 3 weeks or so dealing with the Keith Foster situation. As you know, the federal agents moved in, the FBI, the ATF, just a few weeks ago, and they arrested the former deputy chief of police right here in the city of Fresno. His name is Keith Foster. Put his picture up just for a moment here. And Foster was arrested on federal drug charges, as I said, refused to be interviewed by Internal Affairs. Instead, he resigned. Then the news came via fax that Foster, through his attorney, Marshall Hodgkins, said to Fresno police, they sent a fax, I guess, after much reflection on the advice of counsel, he had determined that his effectiveness in the department would be severely limited if, in fact, he is ultimately exonerated. Foster then resigned. So Foster was taken in for conspiracy to distribute and possess oxycodone, heroin, and marijuana. He is free now as his case makes its way through the justice system, the federal justice system. In the meantime, roll the videotape and check this out. I'll never get over this. Here it is, Chief Jerry Dyer, the day the announcement came down, shocked, stunned, apologized to the community, took full responsibility, but added the Fresno Police Department is not broken. Changes are coming, though. Dyer was not implicated in the charges, as we all know. He says he knew nothing about Foster's involvement in the drugs. He was completely caught off guard. What does the future hold for the chief? We'll ask him. He's here. He's got the backing of the mayor and the city manager. The FBI and the ATF worked on this case for the better part of a year. I'll never get over the look on the face of Chief Jerry Dyer. He is here live now in the studio, in the flesh. You can call in. 436-ME-TV, option 11, as Chief Jerry Dyer is here to answer any questions, any and all questions. And just as a reminder, he is the chief of police, so when you call in, please be as respectful as you can. I'm sure the chief here has answered many questions regarding this case, or at least a few in the past couple of weeks or so. 436-ME-TV, option 11. Do call in. We're back in just a moment.
Hello, I'm John Walsh. We need your help to capture this fugitive. James Bell is an alleged child predator. Bell's wanted for molesting 3 girls ages 9 through 13 while working at a local YMCA in 2003. He was arrested, then fled. Bell has worked as a gymnastics instructor, coach, and a computer repairman. Bell could be anywhere along the West Coast. If you know where he is, call 617-742-5533.
Attention all units. We have reports of 2 motorcycle cops protecting California's highways.
That's for us, good buddy.
The Men of Chips are on MeTV.
Hi, I'm John Baker. I'm John Baker. It's Officer Baker.
He's the blonde one.
Hi there! Officer Poncherello, man.
Frank Poncherello.
Oh, I'm Frank Poncherello.
And he's the one who's Eric Estrada.
There's no way I wouldn't remember a name like that.
Catch the blonde one and the one who's Eric Estrada on
Now on
Chips.
MeTV Fresno, Xfinity 187.
Back here on the program on a Thursday morning, 436 MeTV Option 11. Chief Jerry Dyer is here now. Chief, good morning. Welcome to the program. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, John. Thanks for having me on.
I appreciate it very much. So this is what, your 14th year as chief? I can't recall.
August 1st will be 14 years.
14 years. All right, we all know that this, we played this videotape on our show, it seems like hundreds of times. Just the look on your face when Deputy Chief Foster at the time was arrested is almost priceless. I mean, how stunned were you?
Well, I was shocked when I received the information that Keith had been arrested. It was the last thing I expected that day, and when I got the call from the FBI for me to come to their headquarters to have a conversation, and when I got there and learned of what had happened, it was a shock. And so I understood then, as I do today, what that impact would be on the organization, the impact it has on the community, and the impact it has on the law enforcement profession. Because today, more than ever, we are trying to win over the community in terms of gaining their trust and their confidence. And, we see across the nation some civil unrest, some officers being accused of wrongdoing. And we have tried so hard in Fresno to maintain the trust of our community. And so when things like this happen, it has a tremendous impact.
Take a quick call here. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead. Caller? Hello? You there? Okay, we'll try again. All right. 436 MeTV Option 11. And the day that he was arrested, I just want to ask you, were you almost in a daze? Was it like a fog, like you were in disbelief, like everything was like a cloud in your head?
Well, it was certainly surreal, and I think when I first heard about it, it was disbelief. I could not imagine that scenario ever playing out in my career. A person that is one of the deputy chiefs in the organization, somebody I've worked with closely over the years, had the opportunity to supervise, and then to hear about that, it was certainly shocking.
Yeah, it was. What about some of your distractors? People have said, and I've heard them say, I've even read in the paper that say, well, okay, I believe the chief did not know about it. I certainly believe that because the FBI, they don't mess around. They did this year-long investigation. If you were involved, anybody else was involved, they would have known about it. I guess I hear a lot of people say, well, doggone it, he's the chief of police. This guy, he should know everything that's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, and one of the criticisms that hurt so much is the fact when someone would allege or make have a conversation about me knowing. That really struck at the core of what I believe in, and that is integrity in the organization. And we try so hard to make sure things like this do not happen in the department at all levels. And then for somebody to think that I knew, that's one thing. Because that really is offensive. But then for somebody to say that I should have known, I understand that. I'm the police chief. People have an expectation for me to know what my employees are doing, all 1,000 of them.
Yeah.
But especially when they're high up in the organization. What I've said several times is that the reason you elevate people to positions of leadership in your organization isn't so you can keep a closer eye on them. It's because you trust them so that they can have more freedom, more latitude to go out and oversee the division which they're entrusted to oversee.
Caller, I know you're there. Hang on a moment. I just want to follow up on what you said. You said you can understand people questioning, well, why didn't you know? But what insults you or what hurts you the most is?
When people believe that I did know.
Oh, I see.
And or in some way was involved, although I haven't heard that. And certainly the FBI, very thorough in their investigation, the ATF, they made it known that they had a wiretap, meaning that they were monitoring all of his phone conversations.
Yeah.
And so that criminal investigation is still ongoing. The criminal process is ongoing, so I have to be careful of some of the things that I say or things that I've been privy to. But needless to say, Keith will have his day in court, and to be able to hopefully explain some of these things that he's been accused of.
Yeah. Caller, thanks for being patient. Go ahead. You're on the air.
Thank you for taking my call. Chief Dyer, I so appreciate you always coming out on either Malice and KMJ with Ray Appleton. I feel like you give full disclosure. Years ago, I was questionable about you, but after you came back, before you were going to retire, I've seen such a change in you, and I see how dedicated you are to protecting the people of Fresno and making sure that your officers uphold the law and have integrity, as I believe you do too. I truly believe that you didn't know anything about what happened. I saw it in your face when they were interviewing you. I mean, it was so obvious. I just want you to know I do appreciate you. I live in Exeter, but I do watch the news, and I'm very, I watch everything because I want to know what's going on. And I believe you're doing the best job that you can, and this is really unfortunate. And things just happen, and I believe we all need to just get through it, and I believe you will too. And I just want you to know that I do believe in you, and I feel that you will always do the right thing.
Well, thank you very, very much for your kind words. And I do. I really, truly, John, you've known me all these years, long before I was even the chief. And I've really put my heart and soul into this department and to make it the best that it can be, into this city, to keep our crime down, to keep citizens safe, to make sure that we have the trust of our citizens. And again, when something like this happens, it strikes at the core of an organization that is built upon trust.
Yeah, I know. Caller, I know you're there. Hang on a moment. I just want to say, yeah, I have known you all these years, even before you became chief. And if we've had disagreements, obviously we disagree. But you know what? I know that you care about the department. I know you care about the community. And I know you care about deeply care about the safety of the citizens of this city. And I do know that about you. So if I don't know anything else, I know those three things.
Yeah. Thank you, John. I do. I really, and I care for our employees. I know our employees are out there, our officers. They see things they should never have to see. They get exposed to things, but they do an incredible job. They're not perfect by any means, because we recruit from the human race, but we do our very best to train them, to equip them, and to give them the right direction so that they do a good job out there.
Caller, go ahead. Thanks for being patient. You're on the air.
Yes, it's a dangerous and challenging job. I feel the city is safer than it was in the past. Thank you, Chief. But why isn't this person in jail? That's my question.
Who's that?
The
Foster
deputy.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. Well, appreciate your kind word. In terms of the criminal justice system, this is a federal case. He appeared before a federal judge. That judge makes a decision whether or not a person should remain in custody based on a number of factors and criteria. One of them is the past criminal record of the individual. Obviously, in this case, there was none, and also takes into consideration whether or not that person is a lifelong resident of the city, is not a flight risk. And so those are the things that the judges look at. They make that determination. They made that determination for Keith Foster.
Yeah.
They also made that determination for a second female that was involved, who I understand had no criminal history. But the other individuals had significant criminal history. They were ordered to stay in custody.
So that's the reason Keith Foster is not incarcerated at this time?
Based on criminal history and flight risk.
Okay. All right. Good morning, caller. You're on with Chief Dyer. Go ahead. Hello.
Hi. My question is for Chief Foster. I'm wondering if any of the assets or vehicles of the defendants were seized during the arrest?
I do not know. This was a federal investigation conducted by FBI and the ATF, so I'm not certain as to whether or not what assets or monies or anything of that nature were seized. That's something that we'll have to see as time goes on through the court process.
Yeah. We got to go to break. We're talking with Chief Jerry Dyer of the Fresno Police Department, talking about Keith Foster, and 436-MeTV option 11 is the telephone number here if you're willing to call in and ask a question. We're back in just a moment.
We need help to find this missing child. Delano Wilson was 1 month old when he went missing. He was last seen in Indianapolis, Indiana, August 27th of 2014. If you have any information, please call the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800-THE-LOST. That's 1-800-843-5678. Please help bring Delano Wilson home.
Back here with Chief Jerry Dyer of the Fresno Police Department. Thanks for being with us here on a Thursday morning. Caller, you're on the air with the Chief. Go ahead.
I just want to make a comment for Chief Dyer. Since he became the chief police in Fresno County or Fresno City, I feel much more safer going shopping, walking around, visiting friends in Fresno. And I'm not a Fresno resident. I'm a Clovis resident. I moved here 25 years ago, and I feel much safer these past years since the chief became the chief of the city police department. So, and then my second comment is, no leader, no president can know everything about what their staff, what their cabinet members are doing. I'm sorry, if people are that judgmental, they have a problem. I want to commend the chief for doing an excellent work in Fresno. Thank you, and God bless you.
Well, thank you very, very much for your kind words. It means a lot to me, quite frankly, especially now since some of the controversy we have the last 2 weeks. But our primary goal in this community is to keep citizens safe, and our officers do an incredible job with limited resources to do that. And it's always great to get that feedback from our citizenry, the fact that they actually do feel safe. Our crime is down, crime rate is down, but feelings of safety what's important as well.
Okay. Good morning, caller. You're on the air with the Chief. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to let you know that I worked with Chief Dyer's dad in Madera back in the 80s. Okay, let me ask a question to Chief Dyer. If he would have known, or if his own department would have done their own investigation, would have you done the same thing as the FBI did?
Yeah, I think, when we come across information regarding our employees being involved in criminal activity, if we believe that we have the ability and the resources to do that investigation, then we will certainly do it. However, if we believe that it would be better suited for an outside entity like the FBI or ATF or anyone else, we would then turn that over to them. So depends on the information. We've conducted a significant number of investigations, criminal investigations on employees over the years. Some of them were found to be true, some of them not true. But we have been able to do that as well. But we always conduct the administrative investigation, the internal affairs investigation regarding the employee's conduct that is separate and apart from the criminal investigation.
Right. Lauren, I want to put up a couple of pictures of Keith Foster, and I want to go over these individually, and perhaps, Chief, you can comment on these. Put the background first, and we'll put that up a full screen of Keith Foster, the former deputy chief now. And this is kind of a timeline of his career and how he kind of moved up the ranks here. Hired in 1986 as a police officer recruit, and then he just, as you can see here, he, I guess he became a deputy chief in 2007. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So is that a normal procession in moving up the ladder in the police department?
Well, I think there's no question that Keith was on a career path. He, is a very educated individual. He has a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and a doctorate degree in organizational management.
Unreal.
He's worked a variety of assignments, as you can see, from being a detective, narcotics officer, narcotics supervisor, moved up the ranks, did well in his command college class, was asked to speak, be the speaker for that class. So no surprise that he moved up in the organization as he did, and because he had a significant amount of talent and very connected to the community.
Caller, hang on a moment. Be patient with me. Change to the next one there, Lauren, if you can, the medical marijuana thing. And I want to just read this, and you can read it with me, Chief. It says that Deputy Police Chief Keith Foster testified in front of a state medical board last year in support of a Fresno doctor known for writing medical marijuana prescriptions, and acknowledged that he himself was one of the doctor's patients. Were you shocked to hear this?
Well, I was unaware.
Taken back?
Well, I was unaware of the fact that the testimony had taken place by Keith and another detective. We're doing an internal investigation on that. We have clear policy in place in our organization, whether you're testifying in a criminal case, a civil case, or administrative case, that go through our court liaison office, and it is coordinated through them. The fact that he was a patient doesn't necessarily mean that he was a person with a medical marijuana card or using marijuana, simply the patient of that doctor. So I was surprised to hear about the testimony, but I wasn't surprised to know that he was a patient.
Yeah. Caller, go ahead. You're on with Chief Dyer.
Yes. In one of the news conferences, I understand that he took responsibility for certain things. I'm curious, what responsibility did he take and agreed to, and what are those consequences going to be? Thank you.
Okay. If you're talking about former Deputy Chief Foster, number one, he did resign from the organization, which I anticipated having occurred.
Yeah.
The potential criminal consequences are severe. I believe what I saw in court was if all of these things were found true and there was maximum sentence, it could be up to 45 years in prison and about a $2.5 million fine, which is pretty substantial. Yeah. But whether those consequences come about, we'll know as the court process goes forward.
Hang on a moment, caller. I'll get to you in just a moment. I want to ask you, you have had how much contact with former Deputy Chief Foster now since his arrest?
Just the one time, that when the day he appeared in federal court, the city manager and I and one of my deputy chiefs met with him and his attorney, and that was a very, very brief conversation, less than a couple of minutes, and it was for the purpose of reaffirming that his peace officer powers were removed, make arrangements to retrieve some of his equipment, and then to direct him not to have conversation with any of the individuals involved in the investigation, as well as to make arrangements for him to be interviewed by Internal Affairs that following Friday. And that was really it. And you understand he's with his attorney. There's not going to be very much conversation because the attorney is very, very focused on the criminal case at this time.
Did he show any kind of remorse? That's question one. Was there any remorse? And what was his body language, his facial expressions? Hang on, caller. We'll get to you in a minute.
Well, I don't know that I was looking that closely to see if there was remorse shown or anything of that nature. And I've learned over the years, people respond and react and look differently under different sets of circumstances. But in terms of the conversation, we did not get to that point, and that was really at the advice of his attorney. So it was a very, very brief contact, and that's the last contact we've had.
Yeah. Caller, thanks for being patient. Go ahead. You're on the air.
Yes, this is for Jerry Dyer. This is one Christian to another. I wouldn't judge too much the officer. Pride is a powerful thing, and I know that Jerry Dyer understands it as a Christian. With so many titles behind his name, I think pride, the head of the 7 deadly sins, never underestimate it. And I just want to know if you want to comment on that.
Sure. Mm-hmm. You're absolutely right. The Bible says pride goeth before a fall. And when people get to the point in life when they become so proud and they stop relying on God, bad things happen in their life. And I don't know how that plays into this situation with Keith. I really don't. But I do know that all of us have to make sure that we are walking in humility. And that is what's important. And I thank God that I've never really felt the power and the authority that's been given to the office of the police chief. And I don't really want to fill that power and authority. I do know that there is a certain level of authority that I have. It's a responsibility to keep citizens safe. It's the responsibility to hold our employees accountable. But beyond that, I feel very blessed to be in this position as a police chief for all these years and to be serving in a great city.
Yeah, all right. We're going to continue our conversation here with Chief Jerry Dyer of the Fresno Police Department. Thanks for your phone calls, 436-ME-TV option 11. Back with more in a moment.
Hello, I'm John Walsh. We need your help to capture this fugitive. Alvaro Chavez is wanted by the FBI in Chicago for selling cocaine. A member of the violent street gang, the Almighty Latin Kings Nation, he has a tattoo of a woman and his name on his right arm. He could be hiding out in California, Illinois, or Mexico. If you know where he is, call 312-421-6700.
When you like Ventura TV Appliance on Facebook, it's nice. But when you love the Frigidaire Gallery appliances we deliver, it's even better. Our website is cool, and it's a good place to start, but you really should touch the merchandise before you buy. Time for that upgrade to an Energy Star qualified French door Frigidaire Gallery refrigerator. Quality appliances for the way you live. Get the best selection, price, and service in town without waiting. Come in to Ventura TV Appliance and touch the merchandise.
Back here with the Chief of Police, Jerry Dyer, has been on the job this coming August. It'll be 14 years. Of course, he never envisioned what happened a few weeks ago would ever happen. Who would? I mean, nobody has a crystal ball, and nobody can keep tabs on everybody 24/7. I know I can't even keep tabs on my kids 24/7. That is a difficult task, my friends. Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yes, this is for Mr. Jerry Dyer, Chief. You've done a great job. Hold that head up. Don't let nobody get you down. You are one of the best we ever had, and do not retire. And I want to tell you that every time one of your officers is in trouble, you are there. You have been one of the best, and I am 75 years old, and I've seen a lot go through there. Jerry, keep that smile. Keep that head up, and do not let anybody get you down. You're the best there ever is. And I want to thank you for protecting this city.
Okay, thanks, caller.
Thank you, sir. Get me a little emotional when I get comments like that. I'm grateful for your words of encouragement, especially in times like this. This has been one of the most difficult things that I've dealt with as a chief. We've had a lot of things happen in the organization since I've been the chief, and even before that. And but this one is one that has really hit me very, very hard.
You ever wake up at night and say, doggone it, why didn't I know? What did I miss? Have you ever pondered that? Like at 3 in the morning, you'll toss and turn, what did I miss?
Well, ever since his arrest, I've asked that question, not just what have I missed or what didn't I see, but is there something that we could have done as an organization to intervene or to prevent this from occurring? And we are looking at that today. We're looking at all of our policies, not just us, but the outside look with the independent auditor, looking at our policies on court testimony, looking at policies as it pertains to our promotional process, a number of things that we're looking at. But at the end of the day, maybe there are some things in there that we can enhance or improve upon. That's the hope, or we wouldn't be going through all of this review. But sometimes in life, things just happen, and people make bad decisions. And the question was asked of me was, is the department broken? I don't see the department broken. I always see the department as having an opportunity to make improvements. But sometimes people are broken.
What needs fixing, do you think, in the department?
Well, in terms of our process, we're going to wait till this review is done. I can tell you that in the organization, we've had a lot of stagnation at our staff level. We haven't promoted a single lieutenant, captain, or deputy chief since July of 2007, almost 8 years. that's a lot of stagnation for no upward movement for people at the sergeant rank or lieutenant rank to move upward. And we have rotated people through a variety of assignments, which means we have an incredible amount of people getting a lot of experience, but you always need that vertical movement in an organization so you can increase a person's responsibility and create that sense of excitement. We have to do that again.
Caller, hang on a moment. So you don't feel the department is broken at all? And okay, I want you to follow up on that, just explain that. And also, the second part of that would be, do you think a certain part in terms of trust has been violated, public trust?
Well, I'll answer the second part of that first.
Okay.
I have no doubt that there are certain individuals in this community that are questioning whether or not we have the appropriate protocols in place to prevent things like this from occurring, and there are people that may have lost trust, and it's my commitment to do everything we can to regain whatever trust has been lost. That's important for us. Secondly, we have an internal audits and inspection unit. We actually inspect and audit officers as they're in the performance of their duties out in the field. We will randomly go out, select officers, look at every call they handle, monitor or contact the people they've been in contact with, review their police reports, look at their automated vehicle locator system, where they've been and how fast they've driven, all those things.
Really?
And so we do a lot in terms of audits and inspections internally to make sure our policies are consistent with how we're operating. We have received accreditation nationally from the Commission on Accreditation for Law Enforcement Agency. We're the largest municipal law enforcement agency in California to have that accreditation. This last year, we were not only accredited with excellence, but under their gold standard, which is the highest standard. So we have a lot of good things in place, but you can always get better as an organization.
Caller, thanks for being patient. You're on the air with Chief Jerry Dyer.
Yes, I just can't understand why this guy who has climbed the ranks and gained all this respect from the people and then his fellow officers and all, and I understand he had even good humor, what on earth made him risk everything? I mean, you said $2.5 million fine. I mean, did he just think that he was a cop and could get away with it? What on earth turned this guy into a drug dealer?
Thank you.
Well, I don't know that we'll ever understand or know what led up to this, or at this point at least, what actually transpired. And that's the purpose of the court process, to find out what transpired. And then in terms of the why and the how, I'm not certain we'll ever know that, John, but everyone has their opinion, but we'll wait and see and try to find out. But risking that is difficult.
Hang on, caller, just a moment. I want to ask you, before I get to the call, be patient, caller, I'll get to you in just a moment. What do you make of the article in the Fresno Bee recently that talked about all the cars, the houses, the paying of the $5,000 a month in child support and alimony? Of course, we know as a deputy chief he made about $175,000 a year, somewhere in that range, give or take. Lavish lifestyle.
Well, the truth of the matter is he did not have a lavish lifestyle that I saw.
Okay.
I've never been to Keith's home, his current home. The paper talked about the fact that home belongs to someone else. Well, it belongs to his girlfriend. And in terms of his car, I believe he had a 2007 BMW. So the car's 8 years old. But I've not seen... It even said he had a fur coat.
Diamonds. So, I read diamonds in the paper.
So I don't know. I don't know where all that came from, and I don't know if it was that compiled his entire life history. I don't know, but I certainly never saw that lifestyle with him. I can tell you when we went out to lunch or we went out for anything, I purchased generally the meals. So, and I try to do that for all my deputy chiefs.
Did he leave the tip?
Well, so I don't know where the information came from. I really don't. I'm not questioning the information.
Right. You just never saw the lifestyles of the rich and famous.
I never saw that at all.
Yeah. Okay. Caller, go ahead. Caller, you there? Hello? Oh, I guess not. Okay. So let me ask you something. I want to put something, and I'm not trying to throw you a curveball here or put you on the hot seat. I mean, you're an experienced chief. You're an experienced speaker. You know how to handle just about everything. But I want to bring something up that was recently in the paper that George Hostetter, he's been on this program many times.
Sure.
And let's put up the first quote from George. He had this to say. I'll let you read it for yourself here. It's kind of hard for me to read even with my glasses. Okay, it was a question that he posed at one of the news conferences. I know we got a caller, just hang on a minute. And then you had the reaction from Bruce Rudd. I guess this talked about, the media probing into the police department. Then Rudd had this reaction. He's the city manager. By the way, he has, he backs you, as does the mayor. And then we had this second one from Rudd, right there, the reaction. He apologized in a B editorial saying, look, that's not what I meant to say at the news conference. What do you make of all this, Chief Dyer?
Well, having been there and having seen what took place, this was a very emotional time in our organization and our city.
Right.
The question that was asked by George, and by the way, George is an incredible investigative reporter.
I love him.
one of the best I've ever seen, and so. But sometimes when he asks questions, they're intended to provoke a response. Well, in this instance, the intent of the news conference was for us to talk about the things that had unfolded in the investigation and what we were doing about it. And really, the intent was to say, based on the information the FBI provided, this does not have tentacles in the other part of the organization. And is there something that was very apparent that we could have done to prevent it? That was the intent. And so when it started, and the news conference or the questioning starts going towards historical things that have occurred 5 or 6 years ago.
Well, he raised the question, is this a problem for Chief Dyer, problem for the department, all these past things that have happened?
Right.
Yeah.
And so, the city manager's addressed that since that time, but he was really trying to stay on point. That was the intent of what he said. We're trying to stay on point for the news conference.
But Bruce Rudd wasn't trying to say don't probe. That's your job to probe. Yeah.
In fact, city manager Bruce Rudd is a great guy to work for.
Yeah.
He, believe me, he has the independent police auditor probing now and working with us to review policies and practices and training and procedures, and so looking at this thing thoroughly. Nobody wants to brush us aside and say there's nothing we could have done. The reality is there's always something we can do, and if there's a way to improve our organization and prevent this from occurring again, we will. Whether that ends up being the outcome, I don't know yet.
Caller, thanks for being patient. Go ahead. You're on the air with the chief. Caller? Hello? Okay, I guess they weren't that patient after all. We've got a couple of minutes left, and we'll let you go. I know you're on a tight schedule. I appreciate you coming in. And so where do we go from here, Chief Dyer? You're going to make some changes in the department, forthcoming when, and finally, the last part of that question is, you've got, what, 2 years left before you retire? Or what is your future with the Fresno Police Department? I'm not trying to push you out the door, by the way, but what's your future with the Fresno Police Department right now?
Well, I have an agreement in place with the city manager through the mayor's term, which is January of 2017.
Okay.
What happens after that, I do not know. Okay. And we'll just have to let the Lord guide and lead on that one.
All right. Run for mayor?
I don't know what I'm going to do. I doubt that. I doubt that seriously. That's not something that I feel called to do.
One last call, and then we'll have to go. Caller, are you there? Caller?
Yes, hello?
Yeah, quickly, go ahead. Limited time.
Yeah, I'd like to first preface my comments by complimenting Chief Dyer and his organization for the fine job that they are doing for this community. I think that every individual, no matter what position they hold in that organization, must be held accountable for their actions. They can't be looked upon 24/7. Situations occur, they're under guidelines or under protocols or under policy procedures. They do something that's against those issues, and they're going to answer to that through the criminal justice system, the judicial system, and whatnot.
Okay.
Again, Chief Dyer, you just keep up the good work. I have a son, the daughter-in-law that's in your organization. They're police officers. I'm proud of what they represent, of what they do, and I just want you guys to move on. You're doing a fine job for this city. This is going to pass, and everybody's going to get over it, and it's going to be a better day tomorrow, so I sure appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Great words of wisdom. Thank you for sharing your family with our department. They have an incredible job out there as police officers, and I appreciate your kind words, sir.
Chief Dyer, I know your time is limited always. You put in 16, I just want everybody to know, this man puts in 16, 17-hour days as chief of police, and so he's done a wonderful job, and I want you to know you're welcome here anytime.
Thank you, John.
Anytime, you know that. I
appreciate it.
We love you. God bless you.
God bless you. Thank you, and
All
thanks
right.
for having me on the show.
You got it. Chief Jerry Dyer, Fresno Police Department. We'll be back with the second part of our program, talking about the opening night at Chachansey Park. The Grizzlies opening night is tonight at 7:05. Back in just a moment.
It's almost time.
Now we'll find out once and for all about Clark Kent and Superman.
Look up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's a TV show.
Yes, but who is he? What's his name?
He's Superman.
Golly, Clark, won't that be wonderful seeing Superman?
Fighting a never-ending battle for truth, justice, and television the MeTV way.
No one can do the things that Superman does.
The adventures of Superman.
Now on MeTV Fresno, Xfinity 187.
We need help to find this missing child. April Andrews went missing when she was 15 years old. She was last seen in Pea Ridge, Arkansas in November of 2006. This is what we believe she looks like today at 23. If you have any information, please call the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800-THE-LOST. That's 1-800-843-5678. Please help bring April Andrews home.
You can watch Dr. TV on over-the-air channel 13.9.
Hello, I'm John Walsh. We need your help to capture this fugitive. Julio Cesar Guevara Mejia is wanted by the FBI in Sacramento for the attempted murder of a 19-year-old female in November of 2007. Police say he lured the young woman to a hotel room where he shot her 3 times in the chest. He could be in Palm Springs, California or Houston, Texas. Contact the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI if you have any information.
We get our speed from Mom and Dad. They do stuff super fast. And now they got this new kitchen, so they're even faster. So they can help us with our free throws.
The time-saving Frigidaire Gallery line with a quick preheat and smudge-proof stainless steel that resists fingerprints and cleans easily. It's mealtime in no time, from start to clean. Frigidaire Gallery.
Save more during Frigidaire Gallery bonus days when you buy 3 or more qualifying appliances. See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
We need help to find this missing child. Alexandria Lowitzer was 16 when she went missing. She was last seen in Spring, Texas in April of 2010. This is what we believe she looks like today at age 20. If you have any information, please call the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800-THE-LOST. That's 1-800-843-5678. Please help bring Alexandria Lowitzer home.
Euronews, most watched news channel in Europe.
Time Time to switch topics now, and we are going to talk baseball, my friends, because it all begins tonight right here in the city of Fresno. And I just want to say, after 17 years of that affiliation with the world champion San Francisco Giants, it's no longer. The affiliation now starts tonight with the Houston Astros. Let's roll the videotape, my friends, show you exactly what I'm talking about as we take a look at the Fresno Grizzlies baseball team. How many of you know that the Astros are now in the American League West? How many of you know now that the Astros that they actually won their home opener the other day? Yes, they did. How many of you know that the best player on the team is infielder Jose Altuve? Should this matter? Will it matter in the coming weeks or months at Chukchansi Park, where the Grizzlies open up against Las Vegas, an affiliate of the New York Mets tonight? Leading the charge for the Grizzlies from the dugout, and I hope I pronounce his name correctly. I'll be corrected, I know, if I don't. Tony DeFrancesco, a 20-year veteran of the minor leagues who has won 15 winning seasons under his belt and PCL crowns in 2003, 4, and 7. Some of the players, power hitters on the Grizzlies this year: Max Stassi, John Singleton, Matt Dominguez, Domingo Santana, and Preston Tucker. Those are some of the names that you'll be learning during the course of time. It really has been a winter of change with the affiliation change, how that is going to affect the team, the organization, and the closing of Chukchansi Casino. It's been closed for months now. That casino has the naming rights for $1 million a year. They've already paid the Grizzlies, though, debt service on the stadium for this year. But what about next year? Hey, live in our studio to talk about all this in the upcoming season is Jerry James. He is the assistant general manager for the Fresno Grizzlies, now affiliated with the Houston Astros of the American League's Western Division. And yeah, what do you know? They won their opener. I forgot to check what they did last night. But Jerry, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me.
The assistant GM now, huh? Good.
Yeah,
that's great.
You know,
congratulations.
I think when I started there, when we first met, you know, it was corporate sales, and you know, 4 or 5 years later, and here we are.
Yeah. Let me ask you, there's something going on at the city council as we speak.
Right.
Tell us in your own words what the council is discussing.
Yeah, it's a very important day in regards for the team and for the city as a whole. You know, we're talking about the current lease agreement that we have with the city and with the stadium, and really looking at modifying what that lease agreement looks like.
Right now it's $1.5 million a year, right?
It is.
They're talking about perhaps cutting that in half?
Yeah, that's the discussion.
Okay. Yeah. Do you think that'll happen? They'll agree to that?
You know, we're really confident it will. I think it serves both the team, the ownership, and the city, you know, in really making it a viable partnership.
Right, but the conditions, as I understand it, in talking to Derek Franks a little bit yesterday, that would entail you would have to pay the cost back, the half that you're not going to pay now, when and if the team is actually sold to a buyer, or perhaps you get some more investors. Is that how it's going to work?
I believe it is, yes. And
explain that a little bit.
Yeah, you know, it's really providing an opportunity for a group to come in and really take advantage of the situation here in Fresno. You know, having one of only 32 minor league teams in the United States, it makes it attractive for somebody to come in and utilize that ballpark.
We've got a beautiful aerial shot of the stadium, Chukchansi Park, which has been there a number of years now, as you all know. It's one of the most beautiful minor league ballparks in all the country, all the state of California. There it is right there, a beautiful ballpark. But so talk about, Jerry, how the affiliation change will, in fact, affect the team this year, if at all.
You know, as any change, you know, it comes hard, and you know, the Giants have been a great partner for 17 years, like we said, and but with that said, you know, this really gives the opportunity for the Fresno Grizzlies to really identify as a community team, as Fresno's team, really to do away with the branding of Fresno or San Francisco Giants affiliate. You know, now we're a community-based team, and really that allows us to do more on the marketing side with the California Republic. You'll see a more aggressive marketing that really brings a grassroots feel.
Yeah. Now, what about the closing of Chukchansi Park? How is that? Is that going to hinder the team? It doesn't look like it's going to open up anytime soon. Talking about the casino, Chukchansi Casino, I know they pay the debt service on that stadium each year, $1 million. What kind of an effect will that have on this ball club?
Yeah, it's not going to have any effect. And as you mentioned earlier in your monologue, that the casino the tribe has paid this year, and we're confident that they're going to work that out in court. We have a fantastic agreement with the tribe. There's no indication that that's going to waver, and we're confident moving forward that it's business as usual.
If the casino doesn't reopen, does the team have something in place where you can pay the city even if they cut the rent in half?
Again, that's for our lawyers to discuss, but as of right now, we're confident that it's business as usual, and that we're going to have that partnership going forward.
So you'll cross that bridge when you get to
Absolutely.
it. Okay.
Absolutely.
Hey, we're talking with Jerry James, the assistant general manager of the Fresno Grizzlies. They open up tonight against Las Vegas. 7:05 is the first pitch out there at Chick-Chancey Park. Get out there. This will be the 18th year for the Grizzlies in the city of Fresno. Back with more of our conversation about the Grizzlies. We'll introduce you to the manager and a few of the players on their lineup cards in just a moment.
Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're the save energy, save time, save money place. The Energy Star qualified #1 rated high-efficiency Cabrio from Whirlpool Place. You heard right. Right now, save big on select Whirlpool Cabrio laundry pairs and pay no interest when paid in full within 6 months. At the hometown low price, think outside the big box place. Since 1951, Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're working hard to be your place.
Back here with Jerry James, the assistant general manager of the Fresno Grizzlies, and they open up tonight, 7:05 at Chick-Chancey. And I want to put up a picture of the manager of the Fresno Grizzlies. And did I pronounce his name correctly, by the way?
You did a great job.
All right, let's put it up, his picture, and there he is right there. And what's the correct pronunciation?
Tony DiFrancesco.
All right, I got it. Hey,
he's a winner.
He's a winner. 20 years, of course, in minor league baseball. 15 of those seasons have been winning seasons.
It has, and a lot of those wins came at the expense of the Grizzlies. And we were talking about that at lunch yesterday about how he came in, the Sacramento River Cats at the time when he's general manager. We were 15 games up on Sacramento, and somebody had mentioned that to him, and that really lit a fire, and they came roaring back and just did us in 2010.
Yeah, he's the former manager, of course, of the Sacramento River Cats. He, of course, won PCL crowns in 2003, 4, and 7. And I want to put up, we've got 5 different screens. It took 5 screens to put up the lineup, maybe not the lineup, but the roster, so to speak, for the Fresno Grizzlies. Here it is, names that you probably won't recognize. So we'll just go through these screens one after the other. But talk about this ball club. These are all minor league players that are affiliated with the Astros. Is that correct?
That's correct. And the names that you're going to see running through there, these guys are winners. These are high-end talent, first-round draft picks, second-round draft picks. They've won at every level that this team has been assembled from the minor, from the single A, double A, the winter leagues. These guys win, and we are looking for the same here. And again, when we met, we had a player luncheon with staff, and they're committed to our front office staff that, hey, we're going to do everything we can to bring a title to Fresno.
I saw a name up there that I kind of recognize, Dan Straley. Talk a little bit about him and what he's going to contribute to the team, maybe a little bit. He's pretty good player, I understand.
Yeah, he's one of that high talented draft pick that's expected a lot, and he probably won't be here that long. I'm sure he's going to make it up to the big club soon, and it's our job to take advantage of him being down here. But again, a tremendous talent. The Astros really, with Reed Ryan at the helm there, just really outside the box, really tore down the organization and then rebuilt it using the sabermetrics concept, and it's a fun club to watch. We were watching them work out yesterday, and a lot of energy, young staff versus when the Giants were here with their AAA team. There's probably a 5-year age difference in the club.
Yeah. Now, one other name that you probably saw up there on the screen, and you may have done a double take, okay? And you maybe thought, John Mallows, that was a typo on the screen. No, it wasn't. You actually have a player on the roster named Matt Duffy.
Yeah.
Not the same Matt Duffy that plays for the San Francisco Giants.
Right.
It is a different Matt Duffy, isn't it? How strange is that?
It was. I was looking at the player rosters. Who we get. We learn from the big club who we get a couple of weeks prior, and I saw the name, and I'm like, holy cow! Was there a trade
that I didn't hear about?
No, right. No, and it turned out it's obviously not the same Matt Duffy.
What are your duties as the assistant general manager? Are you in charge of player development, trades, what?
No. It's for us. It's the front office staff. We are responsible for providing a venue for the club to come in, and we provide field. So what my responsibility is really looking at operations, looking at making sure that the field is in the correct manner that they're looking for.
It has nothing to do with player personnel.
Absolutely nothing.
That's totally what the Astros.
That's what the Astros do.
Okay.
But we're responsible though to make sure the visiting teams have hotels, make sure the visiting teams have all the amenities that they need, and really it's to put on a baseball game. And so it goes from revenue to making sure that the ticket takers are there, making sure that the ticket offices are open, and our corporate partners are happy.
Right. Now I know that opening night is usually a huge night, as is Taco Throwdown night.
Yeah, absolutely.
What can you do during the rest of the season, during the course of the season, to draw those fans out there to say, look, we've got a great manager, we've got a new affiliation, we are entertaining, you need to come and check us out. What can you do to draw those fans in there? You know what the age-old argument is. I don't want to go downtown at night.
Yeah, and again, we play 72 home games every night and during the season, and 144 regular season games. That's a lot of games, and really we're looking for outside the box things to do. People want to be entertained. People want free stuff. People want to experience that ballpark feel, and again, we're bringing outside talent in. We have some tremendous giveaways on some of our theme jersey nights. One of my favorite is, back in 1908, we used to have a minor league team here in Fresno called the Raisin Eaters. Yeah. So we have the replica jersey, the Raisin Eater jersey the team will be wearing, and we'll auction those off, in which that was sponsored by Stamales Produce. Again, we'll auction that off and give it to charity, all the proceeds. And so things like that, a lot of grassroots interaction, bobbleheads.
What about bringing in some former Astro great players, like I know Nolan Ryan played for the Astros at one time.
Right.
Maybe bring in a Nolan Ryan or bring in some
Biggio,
of those
guys like that. Absolutely.
Or Joe Morgan played for the old Houston Colt 45s.
Yeah. So we're looking at things like that, and the Astros have been a great organization to work with, John.
Really?
It's that Southern hospitality and
no trouble, huh?
No trouble. It's Quentin McCracken, who's the minor league operations director. It's anything we need, anything we can do. Let us know. They came down. Their whole contingents came down from Reed Ryan all the way down to their operations folks, and they gave us their time, and they've invited us out. We visit them, and it's exciting. There's a different energy at the park. You go down there.
Really?
There is. I mean, just talking with the public. We go to functions. It's really, people aren't avoiding the Grizzlies. They're really outreaching. They love what we're marketing. They love what we're saying. They love that we're including our partners.
Right.
It's an exciting time to be Fresno Grizzlies.
Out of time, sadly.
No,
but
that's great.
All right, Jerry James, come back.
I will.
Bring a player or two next time.
We will do that.
Yeah, I'd love to have a player here, or even the man. I'd love to meet the manager.
You know what, Tony D would love to do that. I will extend that opportunity, and we'll see if we can get him out here.
Thank you for your time. I know it's a busy day for opening night. Jerry James, the assistant general manager for the Fresno Grizzlies. Remember, they open up tonight, 7:05 at Chachansey Park against Las Vegas. The 2015 season is on. Back tomorrow, another edition of Connect with Me on MeTV Fresno. And by the way, our thanks to Chief Jerry Dyer, our previous guest. See you tomorrow.